going on? It's your boy Malik O, and you are now tuned in to Royal TV.
Did you realize that you were a champion in their eyes? Yes, I did.
Yes, so I got this like timeline of you. I just want to like ask you about it. Like I really want to know like the journey process to get where you at now and like 2018 with like the whole high road journey. You know, just gotta say like I love the piece. I love Freedom of Speech. Freedom of Speech is like one of my favorite songs from you. I just want to say that. So let's go all the way back to 2013. Okay, so let's go all the way back to 2013. How old was you in this time?
2013, I was 18 years old.
You was 18, so okay. You know, this ain't Kansas anymore. This is like
I was 18. I was a sophomore at Prairie View A&M University back in Houston. Shout out H-Town. So yeah, that's where I was in 2013.
Okay, so I see in 2013 you released this piece, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, called Dreams and Mountains.
Yeah, I hated that project so much.
Why did you hate that?
I hated that shit so much because, okay, I thought it out like 2012, and what I was thinking was like, first of all, the production was like nothing like what I wanted. Like basically, the thing that I hated the most about it was I felt like the creative control wasn't in my hands because I didn't pick the beats. My managers at the time did, and you know, me, I was young and naive back then. I didn't really know how like the industry worked, so a lot of it was just like rolling with the punches basically. But yeah, even like with the writing, like I didn't take as much time as I did like with the high road that I did with Dreams and Mountains. So it kind of just felt like that project was just like jumbled together, and it wasn't really my all into. Like at the time, I was gassed because I was like 18. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the studio doing big things and shit.
Right.
I actually recorded it here in Orlando, but yeah, it wasn't right to me.
Do you feel like, okay, like that was like my first tape, you know what I'm saying, into the music? Like I feel like, you know, everyone that's an artist has like that one track that we hate, you know what I'm saying, our first track.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was your first track? Like, you know what I'm saying, besides the Dream and Mountains being your first project, what was the first track you made? Like you were just like, oh my god, like if we play it right now, you'll be like,
Well, actually, I recorded a demo when I was 16 called Sunshine State of Mind, but I don't blame you for not knowing that because really nobody knows that. But I didn't hate that one. If you played anything from Dreams and Mountains, I'd probably hate it. Or there was a project I was supposed to release called The Eternal Journal back in 2016. There's a song on there, I think it's called Love to You. There's a couple of tracks on there that I don't like. Just because like I basically had to do the whole project myself. Like I tried to get some singers on the hooks, but they weren't feeling it, so I had to sing it myself, and I'm not a good singer. So when I play it back, I'm just like,
no.
That ain't it, fam. That ain't it. I thought it was, but it ain't it.
So like what happened to like the Eternal Journal? Like I bet it was like so much, you know, anticipation.
The thing about the Eternal Journal was we had finished recording it in 2015, and so we were like talking about getting it mixed and mastered and stuff. And so the same engineer that recorded it was supposed to mix and master it. And so I had hit him up like maybe 2-3 months after we finished recording, and I'm like, yo, how's the mastering going? And he's like, I didn't know I was supposed to master it. I'm like, no, what you talking about? I paid you.
What the fuck?
What are you talking about? So I hit my managers. I'm like, yo, why is he talking about he didn't know he was supposed to master it when, like, literally the day we finished recording it, we're like, all right, we're going to turn this over to you to mix and master it. I shook his hand, everything, like, okay, this is a solid understanding. And, he ended up dropping the ball on that. So my cousin, she told me about this guy that apparently he ghost produced Slow Motion by Juvenile.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, automatically I was like, oh shit, definitely gonna work with him.
Yeah.
So he mixed and mastered it, but my managers weren't really fucking with it because they didn't have a hand in the mixing and mastering. Like we had to do it in Texas, in San Antonio, and this was during the summer, so I could just make trips over there to sit in on the session and get it mixed and mastered. But when it was finally done, they weren't really happy with it. So we went from there. We shot music videos and all that, and then we finally decided that we were going to release it May 22nd, 2016, and we decided on that in March of 2016. So from March to May, I'm pretty much promoting the album on Twitter, Instagram, the whole nine. I got the album artwork done, everything. And then May 22nd comes, and I hit up my managers. I'm like, all right, so how are we going to release this? First of all, that's a problem because it should have already been ready to release and hit the platforms that day. So this is just hindsight. I didn't realize it back then. But then when I asked them, they were like, we can't release it because there's still some issues with like the mixing and the mastering. I'm like, so if there were some issues, then why didn't you tell me while I was promoting this shit?
What I'm kind of feeling is like your managers back then, it seemed like they wanted their hands in every little thing. Like I feel like you didn't really have say as much.
It's not that I didn't have say, it's that I didn't voice my opinion because I just trusted them. I felt like they had my best interests at heart. And we're still cool. Like there's no bad blood between us. It was just miscommunication, honestly. So, that whole thing, it was really just a learning experience for me. And ever since then, I've decided to, take over the creative control. So like now, if you hear an album from me, I picked all those beats, I wrote all those words, everything. Like I didn't make the beats, but I bought them, I paid for them exclusively, all that, the whole nine. But yeah, it was just really a learning experience. I still have the album on my computer. I listen to it from time to time, but that's something that'll stay in the vault because it's not. At the time, it was true to me, but like now I've grown since then, and not only that, but I've grown as an artist as well because a lot of the songs on there, they're not really that well put together as far as like structure, and especially like just like the structure with the bars because I was like really long-winded and stuff like that. So
I definitely see that growth because I pulled up one of your videos. It's called The Ford.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Like you look young and you was already talking about some like heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you like? If you ask me, I feel like you was ahead of your time.
Mm-hmm.
Being that young and where we at now, like I feel like you was like a prophet.
No, I'm
before times. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's certain things that like have happened that like I talked about on the Eternal Journal. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I like never like saw that like connection coming. And even with the High Road, like people don't realize it, but the High Road, I finished that in 2017. The only reason I dropped it in 2018 was because, I didn't have all the pieces together that I wanted. And not only that, but there were certain things that I wanted to say that I hadn't said yet. So I had to finish those tracks, I finished everything in Houston, but I had to like make trips from Tampa back to Houston in order to finish it because I had just moved to Houston after I graduated in December of 2016. And so I didn't really know anybody out here that could, engineer for me. So I just made those trips back to Houston so I could finish up the album and say what I had to say. And so, definitely. A lot of it was prophetic. And, I still, to this day, like, even if I write something now that'll come true in, like, 5-6 months, I don't think about it because I'm just too busy trying to, like, get it off my chest.
Wow. I mean, like, that's amazing. So I do just want to hear like a little bit of like your backstory.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to just sit up here and be like, oh, what made you start here? But like I just want to hear like a little bit about your backstory, like as far as your journey. Like how did it intertwine with each other?
let's see, like how I started rapping.
Like, how do you feel like the stuff that you went through helped you with this journey now?
Well, it inspired everything that I wrote. You know, if it wasn't for what I went through, then I wouldn't have made the high road. And the high road itself is really just a story about, you know, somebody, myself, really. I can't even say somebody because I'm speaking my story. It's about me having these expectations that I had with Dreams and Mountains or Sunshine State of Mind. That's where the first track comes in, Money, Fame, and Power. And I'm talking about, you know, all these things that I want from the world. But then, not even in the album, but in the song itself, I shift that attitude and I'm like, man, do I really want that? Because I know what it's for. Like, you know, luxury, sex, and drugs are disguised for the damage. That's real shit. Because, you know, you hear about people like Robin Williams or, you know, all sorts of people that have like all these material possessions, but they're not really happy. It's a disguise for the damage. So really, you know, life itself is my muse, and everybody that I meet, everything that I go through, it could be a conversation that I overheard at a restaurant that I'll end up writing about. But like I'll put myself in those shoes. So really, just my life in general. That's what I put onto the canvas. So, yeah.
Man, I need to take a second for that to consume that in. That was deep. That was really, really deep.
I appreciate it.
Oh my goodness. Damn, I feel like I need a drink after that one.
Pour one up.
Shit. Okay, so something I did notice about you that I really liked, and I really feel like this is a signature about you, is the way you dress. I noticed in every setting, it's like a real chill vibe. Like you always like. I don't know what it is. Every time I see you on TV or anywhere, it's like you make me feel like, damn, like I can just sit with you and talk to you like this. Like I feel like that intertwines with your songs. Like I could just sit and I feel like me and you are having a conversation when you make this music. Like I get that type of vibe from you. So I want you to talk about like, you know, like the piece you have on, like your hat and your shirt. Like I feel like, you know.
Honestly, this hat, I just bought this today at the mall. And I bought it because it's a Miami hat, and I was born in Miami. This shirt I've had since I was like 19, 20 years old. I got this from Walmart. Don't sleep on Walmart, fam. They got all the shirts, man. I love basketball shorts because they're comfy. And then I have on some Chuck Taylors. That was inspired by the Taylor Gang era. Back when I was in high school. So yeah, Taylor Gang.
Yeah, the backpack and all.
Nah. I just wore the Chucks. Okay. But nah, like a lot of my fashion sense is really laid back because I'm just a laid back person, and I dress up when I have to, but like I don't really feel the need to like wear flashy clothes. Like, you know, when I get on and I get a bunch of money, you're not gonna see me at like Gucci and Louis and shit. I mean, I might go there for like some suits and like some accessories, but like I'd much rather go to like the thrift store or like fucking PacSun or some shit like that. Like I always said when I was younger and I was in high school, or not even high school, but college, I was always tell my friends like, yo, when I get on, I'm gonna just leave the same stores with a whole bunch more bags, like. Because I don't really see the need to like show off like that. I'd much rather let the music speak for me. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I could put my money towards in clothes and shit. Because those are depreciating assets. They're not even assets. They're liabilities. Remember that, kids. Clothes are liabilities. So, yeah.
I'm taking notes right now, like mental notes for real. Because I mean, this interview has just got like my mind blown.
Appreciate you.
But I do want to bring up an embarrassing moment, you know what I'm saying, that I seen. It was kind of funny that I was watching that your first lyrics was from Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So when I was 8, that's actually when I learned how to rap. I was, my parents were in the military. They were both retired Air Force, but they had both gone TDY, and that's Air Force slang for a business trip, basically. So there was nobody at home to watch me, so they sent me to my mom's cousin Betty in Chicago. And my cousin Brian, he was 13 at the time. He was teaching me how to rap and shit. And so, for me to like really get the gist of like what rapping was, like we would like print out these lyrics. And so at the time, Bow Wow was hot back then. This is summer of '03. And he had dropped that song "Let's Get Down" with Birdman. And so I printed the lyrics out to that. And then Bad Boys 2 came out that summer. And so that song "Shake Your Tail Feather" by we downloaded the lyrics to that. So we would just like remember, like just go, like we would play the song, memorize the lyrics, and then whenever the song would come on again, we would just rap it word for word. And I remember "Shake Your Tail Feather" specifically. My cousin would rap Nelly's part, and then I would do Diddy's part, and then we would both do Murphy Lee's part. And like, I just remember like having so much fun, like just reciting the lyrics. And then even then, like we would have like freestyle sessions like late in the morning, like with a tape recorder. And I remember I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I was like getting discouraged or some shit. And my cousin was like, nigga, don't you want to get signed to Dr. Dre? I didn't know who Dr. Dre was. I was like, yeah, I want to get signed to Dr. Dre. I was like, come on, nigga, keep going. So, yeah.
That's shit, the fucking motivation, yo.
That's
like,
how that happened.
That is, like, so cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know who Dr. Dre was. Sorry. I mean, I know now, obviously.
What do you mean, Dr. Dre? Motherfucker gonna be like, so you don't know who the fuck I am? Nigga, the NWA?
Like,
the fuck?
It was crazy. It was a crazy time. I was really, I want to say, like, throughout my whole life, like, I was always trying to, like, keep up. Because I would always be around older people. So I'd always try to, like, keep up or, like, act like I was hip. So he was like, you want to get signed to Dr. Dre? The only thing I really knew about Dr. Dre was, like, 50 Cent and Eminem. I didn't know, like, NWA and, Tupac. I didn't know all that until, like, later on. But, yeah, that's the Bow Wow story right there.
Okay. I see, like, also, too, like, when I listen to your music, like Freedom of Speech and, the High Road, like, I get a sense of, like, you have a lot of intelligence, like, so I just want to, like, tap into your mind just a little bit. Mm-hmm. I remember also seeing, like, like, you said you were, like, a proficient reader and stuff like that, like, I just want to, like, tap into that with you a little bit,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
Do you read books occasionally, or?
Yeah, I read books. I actually, I got started reading when I was like 3 or 4. Like I would always read as a kid. And so, not only that, but like I just read like magazines, even if it was comic books. I would always be reading something. So,
what was your favorite series?
My favorite comic book series?
Yeah, like any series.
My favorite series would have to be Batman, as far as comics, and then. I didn't really have a favorite series growing up, but my favorite author was probably Charles Dickens. My dad put me onto him. So I'd read like Oliver Twist. I think The Tale of Two Cities was written by Charles Dickens. There's a couple other stories that I can't really think of right now. The Count of Monte Cristo, that's a pretty good book too. That's actually Alexander Dumas. So yeah, and even like in English class, like in high school, I remember my teacher, Mr. Plow, he probably won't see this, but I know, like he hated me, but like I will always like be grateful for him because he taught me like the importance of going the extra mile as far as like getting your education. So like I would be at Barnes and Nobles, and I picked up The Republic by Plato, and I was like 15, 16 years old, and I remember at the time we were talking about transcendentalism, like Henry David Thoreau, Walter Whitman, those kind of guys. And so I remember, like, I was reading it one time, and he looked up and he's like, "You reading Plato?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I read that book. It's pretty good." Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's where reading is really fundamental. I think that's what separates the greatest rappers from like the momentary rappers, because when you read, you open up your mind to like new perspectives, and you also become a better storyteller. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love this. Like,
yeah, I'm rocking with it too.
Yeah, I'm loving this interview. This is like good vibes right now.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to talk about one of your recent tracks, "Do My Dance." Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a really hype club song. Like, what was you like thinking? What was you doing when you was like writing in the process, recording? Like, What type of vibe you was like trying to give out?
Okay, at the time when I wrote "Do My Dance," and I'm gonna touch on this later, but I was working as a security guard at this FedEx shipping facility, and my at the time I didn't have to do shit but just sit in like one of them little cabins and just watch the trucks come in and out and sign people in and out. At the time it was like really like downtime, so like nobody was coming in and out. So I was just listening to beats in the cabin, and then I heard that one, and I started freestyling to it, and then like I came up with the hook while I was freestyling. I was like, oh, two-step when I catch that shit. Oh shit, that's fire. So like I wrote it down and shit, and this is the thing about my music. A lot of it, like when I be talking about that money talking shit, I'm speaking I'm speaking from the future as if I already have it. This is some law of attraction shit right here. If you don't have something but you want it, speak as if you already have it. So I don't be lying when I'm talking about money. I just ain't got it yet. That's all. I'm just speaking as if I already have it. So that's what "Do My Dance" is about. It sounds like a club song, but really it's a motivation song. Like, yo, if you out here and you working this shit, like who doesn't get happy when they get money? Two-step when I catch that check. So when
My
I get
mind
that,
just got blown. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So like when I get that big check, I'm gonna be dancing my ass off. Like I'm gonna do my money dance. So that's how that song came about. It was really just like motivation for myself. And even though I'm talking shit, I'm really just motivating, the audience to, get off your ass, get in your bag. Like I see people all day, like just be in their phones and they don't be using their phones for like getting money and shit. So it's like, why not do something? Have like some kind of skill to where you be getting money. So that's how that song came about.
Okay, well, shit. That fucking motivated me. Now I'm gonna do some law of attraction.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah.
Yes, I want to talk about your influencers. I was looking through like a list of people who you listen to on some creep stuff, you know what I'm saying, stalking you or whatever, but that's just what we do.
Yeah. You did your homework, that's all.
I was looking at the different people that you follow. You range from like, Michael Jackson. That really shocked me right there, but like what kid didn't like, you know what I'm saying? Right? Exactly. So I was just looking at the range of people. So who would you say like your biggest influences in music is?
My biggest influences would probably be Biggie, Method Man, Jay-Z, Kanye.
Which Kanye? New Kanye or old Kanye?
Kanye ain't never changed. That's the thing. Niggas act like Kanye changed. He ain't never changed. You just seeing more of his truth. That's it. So anyway, Kanye West. I still love Kanye. Frank Ocean, Michael Jackson, Prince, Marvin Gaye, Bill Withers. Who else? You're gonna have to stop me because I'm gonna go on and on. Black Sabbath, Queens of the Stone Age, Mickey Fax. Shout out Mickey Fax because that nigga, he can fucking rap. He like one of the top 5 all time, easy. So yeah, those are just a few.
Okay, so all right, this is the last thing I want to ask is what's next on your agenda for Malik O. What can I expect from you from like in the future as far as music?
I have a project that I'm working on called 813. It's dedicated to the city of Tampa and the whole Tampa Bay area because I actually made that whole EP like in like the last, I want to say 4 months. Yeah. And that just came from like, there's just a certain feeling in Tampa Bay that I don't get anywhere else. And I've traveled a lot. Like I've been to half the country in 4 countries. So there's just a certain feeling that I get in Tampa that I wanted to recreate and like put in the music. So that's where that's coming from. And then also, I got a couple visuals coming out, some music videos. I'm working on another full-length album that'll be dropping next year, or if I go hard enough, it'll drop this year. But I don't wanna rush myself. I wanna pace myself. So, yeah, definitely an EP coming up, either the end of summer or beginning of fall, and then a new album coming out next year. But I don't know when it's coming out. I just know it's coming next year.
Oh yeah, just drop that shit.
Yeah.
So my last thing I want to ask: if you had one line to say to the world to reach their ears and to reach their mind, what would you say to them?
Oh, I'd say the first line off of My Way. Fuck your favorite, I'm greater. I'll prove it sooner than later. My crew and I do it major. All praises due to my maker. Yeah.
Well, damn, you guys heard it first.
There it is. This is Malik O. You've been in tune with Royal TV.